Okay, so when you are multiplying fractions, there are a couple things you need to remember. The first thing is, if you're multiplying a fraction times a fraction, all you need to focus on is numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So you would do 4 times 2, which is 8, 5 times 3, which is 15. Then you look at your numerator and denominator and determine whether or not it will need to be simplified. Since 8 and 15 have nothing in common other than the number 1, then it's already in simplest form. Next, if you are multiplying a fraction times a whole number, the only thing you will need to do is place your whole number over 1. Why do we place the whole number over 1? So that it does not change the value. 5 over 1 is the same thing as 5 wholes. So now again, we can focus on numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator. So 3 times 5 is 15, and 7 times 1 is 7. Now we can't leave 15 over 7 as an improper fraction. We must convert it to a mixed number. And we do that by dividing. So we see how many times can 7 go into 15 without going over. And I know that 7 times 2 is 14. So 7 goes into 15 2 times. Subtract. And now I can label my whole number. So I would go ahead and divide and get 2 1/7. And then I can double check by multiplying and then adding to make sure I go back to my 15 over 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. So 15 over 7 is what I originally started with on page 2. That lets you know that your answer is correct. Okay, last thing. If you are multiplying mixed numbers, you must convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions first. So then your new fractions become 7 over 3 times 11 over 2. Now I can go back to focusing on numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. 7 times 11 is 77. 3 times 2 is 6. Here again we have an improper fraction, so we must convert it to a proper fraction or a mixed number. And we do that by dividing. So I have to see how many times can 6 go into 77. Alright, 6 goes into 7 once. And 6 goes into 17 twice. Now I can label whole number, numerator, denominator. So my answer would be 12 and 5/6. Here again, you can determine whether or not your answer is correct by multiplying and adding. I know that 6 times 12 is 72. 72 plus 5 is 77. So that takes me back to the original 77 over 6.